pause for the anthem of course.
So we're running the test. Yeah, I don't think we have a video.
Okay.
Unless did he bring one? MJ, did he bring a video?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, so yeah, no video.
How did you game camera?
Check again. Check. Can you low? A little better this
I'll check your audio through the broadcast too.
Okay.
Alright, you wanna go live?
Alright.
MJ, you're coming back in here, right?
Tam's still playing.
Tam is?
Wait, who's doing? I think Gina's doing one. Do you want to do this one?
We're just doing probably be like 5 seconds. Yeah, we have the starters, and then we have Michael Claflin as the player to watch. He's at the far end. Do you remember how to do everything? Yeah. I just don't know about the clock stuff.
The what?
The this. Okay. Like I don't know. Does it just continue to run?
Yeah, you're gonna do this.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right. All right. Hopefully, for everyone tuning into this broadcast today, you are somewhere safe, warm, and dry because we are not, and these lacrosse players today are definitely not. Rather fitting that your UMass Boston Beacons are playing a team named the Nor'easters. Good afternoon, everyone, and once again, we are joining you from a wet Cotter Field. There is about 2 fans in attendance so far, but you are here with us for today's matchup of Division III lacrosse between your UMass Boston Beacons and the University of New England Nor'easters. It's been a hot start for the Beacons up to this point. 3 straight wins to start the season, including the doubling up of LaSalle University, 16-8 the last time this team played on Tuesday afternoon. Across the field from them, a game opponent in the form of the New England Nor'easters. They are 3-3 on the season, a bit of an up and down start, but they are coming off of a win. Whereas the Beacons had 2 close wins and 1 runaway victory, it has been rather decisive in any game that the Nor'easters have played. They have won games by 9, 9, and 7. They have lost games by 5, 5, and 7. So they don't play close games. The Beacons, they might be able to take advantage of another opponent on their heels and take advantage of this home field and the weather and get themselves a win. A couple of players to look out for. Let's give you the Beacons player to watch today. And for the second straight game, it comes in the form of number 20, Michael Claflin, coming into action. In our last game on Tuesday, Claflin led the team in points. No change as he recorded 6 points, 4 goals, 2 assists in the last game. On Tuesday against LaSalle University, he leads all Beacons. Get this, 17 points total in just 3 games. He's almost at 6 points a game, 11 goals, and 6 assists on the young season for Claflin. If it's not Michael Claflin, it's his partner in attack, Gavin Admirant. He had a giant game to the returning All-American on Tuesday. 8 points on 5 goals and 3 assists. And so when Admirant and Claflin are rolling together, it is a fun sight to see. They're going to have the elements against them a bit today, but once again, this is a Beacons offense that is humming, averaging 15 goals per game. New England, on the other hand, just 11 points per contest. They're very close to their opponents. They score 11 goals per game, and their opponents average just under 10. We'll take a look at the side-by-side stats really quickly between these 2 teams. For New England, they've played 3 more games. They've scored 67 goals across their 6 games, allowing 58 opponents' goals, very much outshooting their opponents. 32.5 shot percentage for the Nor'easters compared to just 24% against their opponents. Not a lot of assists on their goals, a lot of unassisted goals, more than half of the goals unassisted for the Nor'easter, and a 27% man-up percentage up to this point for New England. Now for the Beacons, it's been smooth sailing. There was that overtime win to start the season, but then a decisive 4-goal win at Roger Williams, followed by the 8-goal win at LaSalle. They've scored 13 more goals than their oppositions on this season, and ground balls, the story. They doubled up the ground ball advantage against LaSalle, recording 13 more scooped ground balls than their opponents up to this point on the season. 111 for the Beaks, 98 for their opponents. As you guys see on your camera, the players are taking the field. Beacons in their home whites. White uniforms, white shorts, white socks. There's black numerals and lettering, and their white helmets. Similar look for the Nor'easters today. They have blue jerseys, blue shorts, white numerals, white trim. They are also wearing white helmets. And luckily the numbers are big enough here. We can see everybody that is playing on the field today because we have some rain in front of us, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. Weather conditions expected to get worse throughout this game, so we might see a little bit of a sloppy game, especially in the midfield area. Expect a lot of loose balls. Can the Beacons once again win the ground ball opportunity? We'll cover the starters once game hops into action, but the 2 face-off specialists lined up across from each other. They are both very successful on the season. Jared Duffy for the Nor'easters. Jack Dobrinsky for the Beaks. Dobrinsky lost just 4 of his 23 face-offs on Tuesday. Duffy, a 57% face-off percentage on the season. So here we go, the 3-0 Beacons, the 3-3 Nor'easters in a Nor'easter. It's time to play lacrosse, and this looks like it might be a rare loss in the face-off circle for Dobrinsky, but he cycles back on the effort, picks it up, he wins the face-off to get the game started, and it is face-off specialist Jack Dobrinsky taking it into the offensive zone where he will slot the ball back to Derek Fahey. Fahey had a hard charging right out of the box. That was number 13, Jack Ranta, coming onto the field, giving way to Dobrinsky. And now, ball is chopped free by Greg Wolf, and he will get the scoring started right away as the ball was turned over by the Beacons, but then just sitting there right in front of the net, it's number 41, Greg Wolf, scooping it up and beating the goalie 5-hole, Matt Dayette, a very talented goalie for the Nor'easters. Could not stop that one as Greg Wolf goes low and gets the scoring started just 23 seconds into the contest. Beacons take the early 1-0 lead. Phenomenal way to start the action for Greg Wolf. 2 goals, that's his 3rd on the season. He did not score in the game against LaSalle, one of the few members of the starting Beacons midfield that did not find Twine, but he takes advantage of that loose ball and gets the Beacons off to a good start here in the rain at Cotter Field. Dobrinsky now 2-0 on the faceoffs as we are back underway. Remember, that goal took just 23 seconds to score, and now Dobrinsky, reading the numbers, he'll slide it off to Fahey, and the Beacons back underway, ripping a shot from the slot that just hits off the post and scatters out wide. Beacons closest to it, they will retain possession. That was Michael Claflin. Can't keep a good man down. You know Claflin's going to rip it if he gets the opportunity. He was close in the near side slot there. That one, I think, just nicked the post on its way by. Dodging in from the attack, Donovan Prozinski. He was the catalyst for a lot of offensive sets for the Beacons in the contest on Tuesday. He'll circle all the way around back to the goal scorer Wolf, and he just dropped it. That might have been a product of the rain. It hits the basket, scatters away. Claflin returning to the midfield to pick it up. That's another ground ball, 1 for the Beacons. So 2 ground balls, both of them scooped up by the Beaks. Here's Joe Myers. He scored 2 goals in the contest against LaSalle on Tuesday. A little bit of an ISO game as he's fronted by number 46, Colin Gleason. And a player takes a shot down in front of the net by Myers, and we're going to get a stoppage in play because that was a member of the Nor'easters who just ate a shot. And don't want to speculate on this. He's up back under his own power, but that's going to take a little bit to walk off. That looks to be number 9, I believe, Cole Ventimiglia, and if that's the case, that is a big loss for the Nor'easters as he is getting helped off the field by his teammate. Ventimiglia, team high, 9 caused turnovers, so he is really the defensive leader from this Nor'easters back unit, and he looks to be getting spelled on the play. That's number 41, Zach Brodolski, kind of 4th on the depth chart of the 3 starting defenders. He's used to action. He's played in all 6 games this season, but now it's his responsibility to make up for Ventimiglia's absence. We'll take a look at Cole Ventimiglia along the sidelines and see if he's going to return to play anytime soon. Beacons do turn the ball over off that block shot, and so now here come the Nor'easters. This is their first look at the ball in the offensive zone. Slashing in on the defensive end is Luke Murphy, playing the short stick defensive midi position. That ball almost poked free by Claflin. Instead, it's scooped up at the last second by Zach Brodolski, the aforementioned Zach Brodolski, holding it around midfield right now. Beacons 1, Nor'easters nothing in opening minutes here at Cotter Field. Beacons looking to continue their hot start and move to 4-0 on the season. Andrew Lawrence, team's leading scorer on the season, with it behind the net right now. He does a lot of his damage distributing and dodging. Here he'll pass it to his teammate. That's number 16, Ryan Hazard. He has 10 goals on the season. That one chipped around in front of Trevor Coppy. The attempted shot coming in from Sam McGregor is 10 goals on the year. Couldn't get the shot off on Coppy. Coppy makes the save, but now a turnover by the Beacons. Picked up by the Nor'easters, and here's Andrew Lawrence, a dangerous player with the ball in his hands, resetting the Nor'easters' attack. University of New England, as we mentioned, 3-3 on this season. Averaging just 11 goals per contest, the Beacons, bit more of a team full of offensive firepower. As that shot ripped from the slot, it's going to stay with the Nor'easters outside back. Basically, 5 players are going to do the scoring for the Nor'easters. The quintet of Andrew Lawrence, Kyle Kennedy, Jordan White, Ryan Hazard, and Sam McGregor. We just heard about Sam McGregor and Andrew Lawrence. They all have at least 9 goals this season. There is only 1 player on the Nor'easters with more than 4 goals, and that's Colin Watt. No one else with more than 1, and they've already played 6 games, so they don't really evenly distribute their scoring. It's going to be one of those 5 players most likely finding Twine. Ball almost turned over on the play by Elijah Beasley. He scoops it. They'll give him the sideline, and Beasley takes it into the offensive zone. And now the Beacons, tested once on defense, they answer the bell. Now another look to add to this 1-goal lead. They give Luca Murphy a lot of space. Slides the pass over to Wolf. Two-man game between Admiran. Coming in from the near side slot is Charlie Chapman rifling a shot. It misses wide left, but scooped up by Michael Claflin. And once again, Claflin loves that back right corner to start his attack. Looks back in the direction of Zach Mann, who scored a goal in Tuesday's contest. And Chad Kidd, 2 assists, 2 goals on the season for the midfielder. He rifles in, dodges from the midfield, and finds the lower left corner. Chad Kidd, his 3rd goal of the season, and the Beacons up 2-0 now. Less than 4 minutes into this contest. They wanted a hot start. They got it, and it's 2 midfielders finding twine. Greg Wolf scored the first goal for the Beacons about 23 seconds into this contest. Now 3 minutes and 45 seconds in, and it's another goal this time from Chad Kidd. Kidd's first goal of the game, 2nd goal of the season, his now 4th point of the season. So Chad Kidd answering the bell offensively for the Beaks, and the Beacons up 2-0. It's been 2 face-off wins for the Beacons. They lost that one, but they'll get the ball back due to I believe that was just an illegal push in the face-off zone, so it's not going to be any timed penalty against the Nor'easters, but it gives the Beacons the ball in the offensive zone. They almost turn it over. Scooping up at it is Krasinski, and now Wolf, another ground ball. Slides it over to Claflin. Claflin thought about the shot from the left slot, instead gives it back to Joe Myers. Myers reverses course to Derek Fahey. Fahey can use both hands. He's going to dodge with the right hand. Fake the shot, gives the pass to Gavin Admiran, scored 8 points in his last contest. Over to Przinski, shot goes wide to the right. Save not made by Matt Dayette. It's going to be picked up by Admiran, and back at it on offense go the Beaks up 2-0. Joe Myers on the left slot. Dodges in, goes to the right-handed shot, misses just low. Once again, Dayette cannot make the save, but once again, Beacons close to the ball, and they're doing a great job keeping this set offense rolling, even on the missed shots. Now it's going to be Fahey starting the attack, dodging from behind net. Little one-man move. Wow, he lost his defender quickly. Goes for the wrap shot and scores. And Derek Fahey scores his first goal of the contest in impressive fashion. The Beacons not bothered by the weather at all here. They take advantage of the penalty in the face-off circle, bring it into the offensive zone, and it's Derek Fahey doing it himself. He was face-guarded by Alden Balboni, the team's best defensive midfielder for the Nor'easters, and he just shook him with a juke move that freed himself up. He had a lot of passing options, didn't take any of them. He scores an unassisted goal, wrapping it around the goalie, Matt Dayette. And for Derek Fahey, the team's 2nd leading scorer on the season, that is his 8th goal of the year. He now has 15 points, and a great start to the Beacons. Now, if you watched the game with us on Tuesday, it was a very balanced scoring effort. The Beacons, 3 goals in the first, 5 in the second, and then 4 apiece in the 3rd and 4th quarters. Already 3 goals in the early going here in this crisp offensive attack, showing its fangs. First win and retention in the face-off circle for the Nor'easters so far today. And we'll get our first look at that was number 15, Jordan White. He has 11 goals on the season in the slot now, drops the pass, giving chase as number 7, Matt Palin. Palin's going to keep it in and win another ground ball for the Beacons, who have already scooped up 4 turnover-changing ground balls. Gil Delvi keeping it in transition for the Beacons over to the long stick midi, Sean Kalad. Kalad getting pestered on the play by the Nor'easters defense. He'll give it over to that's Matt Palin. Palin a little bit more comfortable with the ball in his hands. No one more comfortable with the ball in his hands than Michael Claflin. And now Claflin veers off to the right side. Beaks will reset their offense. Gavin Admiran, he scored 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists in the last contest. He gives his first shot on goal here, misses wide. Claflin's there. And the Beacons, once again, will reset. Beacons yet to lose possession off of a missed shot, so that's shooting percentage way up there for the Beacons. They're already shooting an impressive team percentage of 36%. That was a floated pass. It just gets to Admiran before getting scooped free. Rifled shot from the underhand coming in from Colin Ford. That's saved very nicely by Matt Dayette for his first true save of the contest. The Nor'easters needed that one as they're trailing 3-0 here in the early going. If you're just tuning in, 3 goals. One scored 23 seconds in by midfielder Greg Wolf. Then Chad Kidd followed it up with a goal. It's a great dispossession on defense by number 23. That's Jacob Banks. And now Banks gives it off to his teammate Zach Mann. And here comes the 2-man. Look, here's Mann from Banks. Shot! Wow, Dayette with a beautiful save, poking it free. But right in front of it now, Greg Wolf. Delayed penalty on the play. It's going to be against the Nor'easters. You can see number 29, Zach Mann, was very upset on the play as he it looked to me maybe be a little bit of a revenge push against the Nor'easters defender. It's not going to warrant a penalty on either side, but possession now stays with the Beacons, and here's Greg Wolf, who had a beautiful scoring opportunity just now. He already has 1 goal today. He will restart deep in the offensive zone in the back left corner after the referee ties his shoe, and now we'll get going. 6 minutes into this contest, 6.5 minutes into this contest, Beaks with a 3-0 lead. Once again, the goal here, win and move to 4-0 on this young season. Probably going to be the most nasty weather you'll have all year. So if you can take advantage of the elements and get yourself a nice-looking win in the process, that's got to be the goal for head coach Tyler Lau. Dodging around the first wave of defense is Jacob Banks. He gets a shot on in Dayette with a very nice save. Got it elevated, kept it in his basket, and he hands it off to Ryan Hazard. Hazard, one of the 5 main goal scorers for the New England Nor'easters. And instead of dodging fully into the offensive zone, he waits. He's fronted by Colin Ford. Hazard going to switch over to Jordan White. White, really the only one of those 5 goal scorers that is not that accurate of a shot, but he gets himself in great positioning. So he's taken a lot of shots, but he has hit the net 11 times. Leading goal scorer, once again, for the Nor'easters is number 39, Andrew Lawrence. He doesn't have the ball as much. He usually dodges from behind the net. Here's White from the left slot. Gives the head fake. There's no shot there. Looks to his right. Now he'll pass all the way across field. I like where his head was at with the pass intended for Sam McGregor. It just went too wide, and McGregor wasn't ready for it. And another turnover. The 3rd unforced error turnover committed by the Nor'easters. It's not going to go down as a caused turnover, not a CT. But once again, the Beacons just doing what they need to do defensively. And once again, cruising in through the midfield is Luke Murphy before he'll hand it off to Derek Fahey. Fahey scored the most recent goal for the Beaks. Just a beautiful unassisted wraparound goal. He gives it to Greg Wolf, and now Wolf going to dodge by himself here from basically the left baseline of the net. Looks to Fahey. Fahey goes very quickly across field to Chad Kidd. Kidd with one of the 3 goals already today. This time the left-handed shot. He likes going high to low. That one's saved by Dayette. And Matt Dayette now, 4 straight saves on Beacon shots. Still a 3-0 scoreless streak for the Beaks. The long stick mini kind of out in the middle of nowhere. That's Cole Curry. Not usually saddled with the ball handling responsibilities for the Nor'easters. Was able to draw the foul. And no foul, it's just going to be a ward. So it stays with the Nor'easters now. We're still at even strength. We haven't had a penalty yet in this contest. Crossfield pass intended for Jack Martin. He loses it. And I tell you what, the Nor'easters, solid team, solid program, 3-3. They had a pretty long trip coming down from Portland, Maine. University of New England is in Biddeford, Maine, right outside of Portland. So a long trip through the rain. It kind of looks like they just never got off the bus. That's another unforced error. And here comes Greg Wolf dodging in. Oh, he had to look for the shot. Instead slides it over to Admiran. But now the Beacons up 1 with a man out of position. Admiran's going to reset as the Beacons bring the whole core of offensive attackers to the front. Well, you don't need any of them when Michael Claflin can do it himself like that. He draws up the ISO play. I think he just wanted to get himself into the scoring column with his back to the goalie, never facing the net. Dives in, leans in, gets it past Dayette, and Michael Claflin scores the first goal of the first quarter, for the Beacons, who now have a 4-0 lead. The team's leading goal scorer, his first of the contest, his 12th of the year. 12 goals now. We don't have the live stats up and running yet for you. I'll figure out who assisted these goals in between quarters, but might have gotten the assist on the Greg Wolf goal. So there's a very chance that Michael Claflin is up to 20 points already on the season. 4-0 Beacons. We are just 9 minutes into this contest. 5:59 left to go still in the first quarter. Dobrinsky working. This time it's number 24, Ben Gowell in the face-off circle. And it looks like the Nor'easters finally are going to get themselves one as it's scooped up by the long stick midi, who draws the foul for the Nor'easters, Cole Ventimiglia. Ventimiglia took a shot, or pardon me, that's not Ventimiglia, that's number 8, Chase Walter. So we actually still haven't seen Cole Ventimiglia re-enter action after that, taking that shot in front of the Nor'easters' net earlier on in the first quarter. So finally a win in retention in the face-off circle for the Nor'easters, but they have work to do, trailing 4-0. There's Andrew Lawrence. He's been really quieted. That's really only the 3rd time he's had the ball in his cradle. And it's going to be the midfield wave led by Ben Gowell. He has 2 goals on the year for the Nor'easters, over to Alden Balboni. Gowell, down low to McGregor in the slot. McGregor to Gowell, fake the pass to Balboni. Now he's going to spin. Right-handed dodge in from the midfield, goes all the way back to the back left corner, and now it's Andrew Lawrence behind the net. Does most of his damage from behind there, nothing doing, and once again a reset for the Nor'easters, 35 on a running shot clock. Sloppy pickup there by Colin Watt. Watt with 4 goals on the season. Fakes the pass from the slot, and now another turnover from the Nor'easters as Watt was caught halfway between a pass and a shot. He decided to pass it in the direction of Lawrence. Lawrence couldn't control it. Shot clock resets to 80. Beacons have really yet to make a mistake in the defensive zone, and now Trevor Coppy, he hasn't really had anything to do all day today, so you know what, I'm kind of bored. I'll take it myself, and he'll walk it across midfield, and this will set up numbers for the Beacons on the offensive attack, already leading 4-0. This is number 36, Gil Del Valle. Looking back to his coach, Trevor Lau, he gets the signal, and he'll start from the dodge. Really not fronted too much. Gets to walk it all the way in before giving it to Gavin Admirand. Admirand, the hottest Beacon up to this point. Haven't heard anything from him yet in the contest, but he wins a one-on-one spin. Fakes the shot. Now he's still looking for the pass. He'll walk it back out towards the slot, and the Beacons will reset with Joe Myers. Myers over to Chapman. Charlie Chapman, one-on-one. Dodging from the slot. Now he backs into his defender, getting fronted by Alden Balboni. Chapman still with it. Now across field to Claflin. Claflin from behind the net. Oh, he had a cutting. That was a beautiful look on the play as he was looking for Jacob Banks cutting it, but it's intercepted beautifully by Tom Pouliot. Pouliot goes back to his goalie, Dayet, and that's a very nice stop there for the Nor'easters. And now they have something going there. They did have something going there, but Cole Curry, once again for the second time today, a turnover, drops the ground ball at midfield, and now it's still a mad scramble. Joe Myers closest to it. He gets slammed, and that is going to be a penalty against Nor'eastern. Or not. No, actually, it was an illegal touching by the Beacons. I could have sworn that was going to be a call against number 22, Alden Balboni. Instead, Myers, the extra player, too many men on the wrong side of the field, and so the ball goes back to the Nor'easters, yet to score, and we're nearing the 3-minute mark left to play in the first quarter. Andrew Lawrence, the shot was not taken by Kyle Kennedy. He has 11 goals in the season. Instead, he gives it to Lawrence. Lawrence back to the middle of the field to Watt. Watt snaps it. Trevor Coppy asking for the illegal screen, I believe, or maybe he was just trying to communicate with his defense. As it is, ball shot out of bounds, and here's Andrew Lawrence. Still with 66 seconds on the shot clock, so the Nor'easters can really take their time setting this one up. Your Beacons, 4. The New England Nor'easters, nothing. And what looked to be maybe another turnover at midfield is, yes, it is a turnover. Another ground ball won by the Beaks, and right as I said that, that pass from Elijah Beasley intended for Michael Claflin. You don't normally see Claflin just drop a pass like that, but once again, we're not playing in beautiful lacrosse weather by any means right now. That ball stretched all the way out towards midfield, and finally keeping it in is A.J. Rinaldi. He will get it into the offensive zone as there was a big collision there. Huge hit taken by Luke Murphy. He's all right. And now it's Greg Wolf. He scored the game's first goal. Trying to wrap around a left-handed shot. Had a man right in front of the net with Admirand. He dropped it, and I believe that's going to be a crease warning on Admirand when he did get the ball. His toe was in the crease. So it's a turnover for the Beacons. If you're just tuning in, 4-0 lead for the Beacons. They scored 4 goals in under 9 minutes to start the game. Rather slow run of play these last 4 minutes as this game, it's not like it's been stuck in the midfield. Instead, both teams have gotten the ball deep into the offensive zone, but then have just not executed down near the goal mouth. Here comes Matt Palin, head full of steam for the Beaks. They're not fronting him. He's going to walk this one right into the offensive zone before reversing course. Claflin, to a man, down low, it's Admirand, and what a kick save by Matt Dayet. Gavin Admirand, I tell you what, 99 times out of 100, he will get that in the back of the net. A little extra cradle there, it gave Dayet a second to kick the ball away. But we're right back into it, and Claflin has Admirand again, and this time, no nonsense. Admirand pockets it, Claflin with the assist, and it's the usual suspects so far as the Beacons go up 5-0 here in this first quarter. For Admirand, it's his first of the contest. And his 10th goal of the season, he becomes the second Beacon. We're not even through the first quarter of the third game. Second Beacon already with double-digit goals. And now Michael Claflin, that is officially 20 points on the season for the ultra-talented junior. He gets the assist on the play. Admirand gets the goal. With 1:46 left to go, Beacons lead 5-0. Now that wasn't Jack Dobrinsky. Instead, that was Jason McNeely, team's second-string faceoff specialist. He gets called for the infraction there. And New England, just their third win in retention in the faceoff circle in this contest. ball that is kicked out of bounds off of Ben Gowell. Gowell normally pretty good on the cradle. This time he loses it out of bounds, and now Derek Fahey, with the Beacons holding a 5-0 lead, walks it in, and we're back underway. Everything going right for the Beacons in this first quarter. Greg Wolf got the scoring started about 23 seconds in, followed by another midfielder goal from the stick of Chad Kidd. Derek Fahey, an unassisted goal, made it 3-0. Michael Claflin's goal, diving in with his back to the goal, he made it 4-0. And you just saw Claflin find Gavin Admiran for the team's 5th goal of the contest. 5 different goal scorers. And now here comes Derek Fahey, showing off a little bit with the ball handling. Over to Admiran. Here's Wolf. He's got a big left-handed shot. He just missed picking the bottom left corner. It goes out. Fahey, the closest Beacon to the ball, and the Beaks will reset at the 1-minute mark. We're 14 minutes in. 14 minutes, 5 goals. Not a bad pacing for the Beacons offense. This is Chad Kidd losing it out of bounds. No, he keeps it in. Goes between the legs. Gets it to Greg Wolf. Wolf wards off the defensive effort from Colin Gleason. And now the Beaks keep it alive. Colin Ford dodging in. Reverses course. Back to Claflin. Down low to Admiran. Trying to shovel it in front. Has the ball go between his legs. It looked to be picked up by the Nor'easters. It's still loose. It's still loose. Number 19. Will Zumita, the defender. He scoops it. And now Zumita with that long defense stretched out behind it. He's going to go all the way in before handing the ball off to Andrew Lawrence. Now, normally Lawrence not quarterbacking from the midfield. He gave it off to his partner in crime, Zach Brodolski, who was seen a lot of minutes today after the Ventimiglia injury. And now the two-man duo in the midfield of White and Hazard going to bring the ball into the offensive zone for the Nor'easters. There's just 7 seconds left here in the first quarter. Lawrence to the middle of the field. A loose pass to Hazard, and I don't think they will not even get a shot off. What an impressive first quarter for the UMass Boston Beacons. 15 minutes in and a 5-goal lead. It's the end of the first quarter. Beacons leading the University of New England Nor'easters 5-0. We'll take a quick break and be right back with the second quarter after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. It's fun that we're good.
I don't like this. There's a mute that.
As we are about to get started with the second quarter, Beacons all over the University of New England Nor'easters to get this contest started. It is a 5-0 lead up to this point. Taking a look at the numbers for UNE, and it is a first quarter to forget. 3 total shots, just 3, registered by Sam McGregor, Andrew Lawrence, and Ryan Hazard, and that's it. For the Beacons, quite a different story. Sliding through the offensive stats right now. 12 different shots on net in the first quarter, 5 of them finding their target. Beacons up 5-0. Greg Wolf, Chad Kidd, Derek Fahey, Michael Claflin, Gavin Admiran in that order for a 5-0 lead. Getting pestered at midfield, still holding on to his cradle through all that contact. Alden Balboni gets a slash from Derek Fahey, and this game's going to see its first penalty. We're about 80 feet from the action, and I can see that flag as clear as day. So Fahey ultimately going to head to the sin bin. Right now the Nor'easters know that they will have a man-up penalty coming. Opportunity to get a goal here and go man-up after the score here. If it gets touched up, it will be an instant man-up opportunity for the Nor'easters so they can afford to lose the ball. That's what will happen as this one scatters out of bounds. Yeah, Fahey lets it roll out of bounds. And the first penalty of the contest will be assessed to the Beacons. We'll wait for a split second to see what that call is. I thought it might have been Fahey. Instead, this looks to be Patrick Colburn making his way to the sin bin. He might have just been coming off as Fahey now the long run back towards the bench. So it is going to be Derek Fahey for the slash. And just wait for the confirmation on the timing of that. But the Nor'easters are going to have this game's first man-up opportunity. 8 goals on the man-up opportunities for the Nor'easters. Not the best percentage. 8 of 20 so far on the season. And in 6 games, only scoring 8 man-up goals. Not ideal. For reference, the Beacons have played in 3 games. They already have 9. So they're averaging 3 man-up goals per contest. Fahey in the sin bin, Nor'easters with a man up, spinning in is Sam McGregor. He has the left-handed shot. No, instead he goes back to his teammate behind the net, Cole Irving. Irving to Lawrence. Lawrence's angled shot, no good, giving chase, and retaining possession will be the Beacons as their long stick midi with the ball. Jack Ranta retains possession, but there is a man down for the Nor'easters. And how about this? A maybe second key player in the Nor'easters rotation down, and that's Sam McGregor. And you can see he slams his racket against the turf. He is in pain, and this is a very important player down for the Nor'easters. If you're just tuning in, about 2 minutes into this contest, it was a shot taken by defender Cole Ventimiglia that knocked him down and out. We have not seen him return to action. He was really the most talented, bluntly the best defender that the Nor'easters have. He has not returned to action. And now Sam McGregor, one of the quintet of attackers on this Nor'easters team. He has scored 9 goals this year on just 20 shots taken. He's an efficient scorer, an effective player. He is down, and he needs the help of 2 teammates to make it off the field. Now, what makes matters worse is the Beacons playing with a man down right now because of that injury. They were able to force the turnover, and now, taking a look at the clock, it's really only about 35 seconds left for the Beacons to wear down this man-up opportunity. Dodging ahead is Luke Murphy all the way into the offensive zone before circling back, and the Beacons will reset. Remember, Beaks playing with a man down right now. Darafe, he whistled for the first penalty committed by any player in this contest. Charlie Chapman, well, I like where his head was at there. He was able to draw the double team with his back to the goal. He spun into a left-handed shot. It was more of a push on goal than it was a shot on goal, but it goes out of bounds, and the ball stays with the Beaks, still playing with a man down. And now returning to the field, so we are back at even strength lacrosse. Oh, and that's just off the post. Let's see. Yeah, the referee resets the shot clock. Do not count it as Donovan Przinski was robbed. What a great defensive effort from the backside by Charlie Chapman. He worked the offensive play in transition, and now it's Greg Wolf with nothing to it but to do it. It's a goal for the Beacons, his second of the afternoon. And how about Charlie Chapman setting up that opportunity? He dispossessed the Nor'easters ball carrier, Matt DeSimone on the play, scoops up the ball, gets it over to Wolf, and Greg Wolf scored the first goal of the first quarter. He scores the first goal of the second quarter. Beacons have yet to been quieted in this contest, and it is 6-0. Wolf scores his second of the game, his 4th of the season. Now, Dobrinsky hasn't taken the last 2 face-off for the Beacons. It was McNeely, and he lost those last 2, so they're going back to the starter in the face-off circle. He's working against Ben Gowell, and Gowell, the second-string face-off man for the Nor'easters, he wins it. So University of New England, actually with the advantage in the face-off circle so far against the Beaks today. It hasn't really shown up on the scoreboard, but the Beaks holding a 6-0 lead. All even-strength goals scored by the Beacons in this contest. They lose another face-off, but the defense has answered the bell. Patrick Colburn, number 17, having a particularly impressive game. And right as I mentioned that, he cuts off another pass, picks up another ground ball. And let's see Big 1-7 take it down the field. He had an assist in the last contest against LaSalle. Looks for his partner in crime, Patrick Carey. Here's the 2 defending Patricks leading the offensive attack. And that pass gets in underneath to Elijah Beasley. Beasley circles it back to Claflin. Wide open in front of the net. It's going to be Patrick Carey, and he finishes in front. The long stick defender joining the offense. Another assist for Michael Claflin, his 3rd of the afternoon, and the Beacons up 7-0 now as Patrick Carey lights the lamper, finds the twine, however you like to say it. He scores. For Patrick, that is his 2nd goal of the season. He now has 3 points on the year. And everything coming up Beacons right now, so much so that we will have a timeout on the field. 7 unanswered goals to start the contest. We're not even 18 minutes into this game. 12 minutes, 6 seconds left in the second quarter, and they're taking a timeout, so we'll take a break. Beacons leading the Nor'easters 7-0. The rain looks to have stopped, but the offensive output from the Beacons has not at all. It's a timeout that we are in the middle of right now, called by the University of New England. They have not scored yet. The Beacons, by contrast, have scored 7 goals already in this contest. Welcome back to Cotter Field. My name is Chris Del Surdo. You are tuning into the Beacons Broadcasting Network, and your UMass Boston Beacons cruising right now, 7-0. Already a 3-0 start to the season, looking for their 4th straight win and another, well, not another face-off win, the first face-off win of the second quarter for the Beaks, but another offensive possession, and Duraf Fahey, he has a goal and an assist already, dodging in from the right slot. He's facing a double team right now, so looks across field, there might be somebody there. Keeps the cradle alive in his right hand. You can see Fahey dodge and cradle and shoot with both his right and left hands. Adveran got that pass knocked free, so he'll scurry over, regain possession, and hand it off to Fahey. Around the perimeter they go. Jack Dobrinsky staying on the attack until right now, running off, and the Beacons will bring someone else on. In the meantime, Gavin Adveran works the solo dodge, had an angled shot, was going for that top left corner. Didn't find it. But a nice play on defense from number 29, Matt German, getting the ball out of trouble and getting it to the goalie, Matt Dayette. It's been a streaky run of play for Matt Dayette. He allowed those first 4 goals in the first quarter, basically on 4 consecutive shots. He then really settled down, made 3 straight saves before the Gavin Adveran goal towards the end of the first quarter. And right now, the Beacons in the middle of one of those offensive surges. You saw that in the game against LaSalle on Tuesday. When they were clicking, they just stayed clicking, and it was spurts of goals. Now, they let LaSalle, there was 2 different 3-goal streaks by LaSalle in that game on Tuesday. We've yet to see even 1 goal from University of New England. Also, if you're just tuning in, the Nor'easters playing without 2 of their best players right now, as we saw number 9, Cole Ventimiglia, go down very early in this contest. He's the team's most talented defender. And then, not sure if Sam McGregor has made it back yet, but he took a spill after playing defense on a look in the Beacons' offensive zone. Once again, the Beacons hit the post, but the man gets his own rebound and finishes, and that's Jacob Banks. He almost had the goal on the snipe. The ball squarely hits the post, and it goes directly back to Banks. And then he had the one-on-one play against goalie Matt Dayette, and Jacob Banks has scored the 8th goal of the contest for the Beacons. They just can't seem to do anything wrong. It's his first goal of the year, his 2nd point. So welcome to the score sheet, Jacob Banks with your first goal of the season. Beacons lead 8-0. And hey, I don't think the Beacons are planning on slowing down anytime soon. You have a team here defending conference championship, looking for that national recognition. Not in the national rankings yet, but 2 of their 3 wins, very impressive so far. Against a what we expected to be a very evenly matched contest opponent against the New England Nor'easters. And right now, just showing no issues. Beacons leading 8-0. There's still 10:20 left to go in the second quarter. So if you're keeping track at home, the Beacons right now on pace to score 24 goals. Anytime you can even flirt with 20 goals in a lacrosse game, you know you're doing something right. Here's Jordan White. 2-man game between him and Ryan Hazard. Hazard fakes the left-handed pass. Nothing there, so he'll just give it to White. Now White having to dodge in on an angle, and another lax pass. There's some contact on the play. It won't be an officially delayed penalty. The Nor'easters retain possession, and they give it back to their key man, Andrew Lawrence. Back out to White they go. You've seen White with the ball a lot. Lawrence hasn't had it all that much. White can't get in through this Beacons defense. And now here's Lawrence. Tries to float a pass up. It almost got past Trevor Coppy and into the net. And now Coppy kind of out of position. He'll have plenty of time to get back. And behind the net with it is Gavin Tanis. Over to Jordan White. White just keeps having to retreat to get himself some space. Gives it to Jack Martin. Martin has 2 goals on the season, but his pass goes wide, out of play. Closest to it is Justin McCullough of the Beaks. And so possession back to the Beacons. It has been sloppy, to say the least, up to this point for University of New England. Looking at the stats right now, already, this is almost impossible to get to this point with an official turnover. Already 6 ground ball turnovers from the Nor'easters. Now, they're still playing with some intensity, delivering the boom here at midfield, but trailing 8-0 and just in desperate need of a sustained run of play in the offensive zone. Here's Gavin Tanis taking it deep to Andrew Lawrence. Around the perimeter they go. White faked the shot. Gives it to Hazard, charging in. Hazard resets out of the offensive zone. And now coming in, I think from the... Yes, this is defensive midfielder Alden Balboni. And he's going to dodge in and misses well wide with the shot. 2 different members of the Nor'easters closest to the end line. So New England retains possession. 2 saves made by Trevor Coppy today, and really, I mean, those were the only 2 times that he even got tested. Just not a lot of looks on net for the Nor'easters. The dodging from the midfield hasn't led to anything, and now that pass wildly overthrown. And, I mean, it's going to scoot to Greg Wolf, and now the Beacons with a little 3-on-3 here because nobody in the midfield. It's up to Wolf. Well, there is a stoppage in play on that. So, do we have another member of the Nor'easters down? This is... Oh, it's going to be a penalty against the Beacons. Okay, my apologies on that. I lost track of what happened there. I thought, yeah, that maybe it was just a stoppage for injury. But no, the reason that ball got all the way out to Greg Wolf was a penalty committed on the play by Luke Murphy, one of the Beacons midfielders. So he takes a kneel in the sin bin. Second opportunity with a man up for the Nor'easters in today's contest. They had a 60-second opportunity after a Derek Fahey slash. Didn't lead to anything. In fact, a turnover towards the end of their man-up possession then led ultimately to the Beacons scoring a goal once that possession got back to even strength. And did they turn it over again? It was deflected, so it stays with the Nor'easters. Good call. The Beacons almost worked that turnover, but it was deflected off the stick of the Beacons, so it stays with UNE. Ripping a shot that misses just wide from the right-handed dodge, Colin Watt. Honestly, he's looked the most feisty of any of these scoring midfielders for New England. He's gotten a couple of good laser shots in through the defense and on net. That one goes just wide, but he has it again on the left wing. Over to Andrew Lawrence. Around the perimeter, they go to Balboni. Balboni just missed wide on a shot his last time. Lawrence operating with the rather short lacrosse shorts here in the weather. I can assume, like, if he takes anything to the thigh, he's going to be feeling it, you know. Not that these lacrosse shorts matter, but it's impressive seeing how some of these guys on the University of New England, no socks, no nothing, just in the elements. They're used to playing in the cold. It's a cold weather team. They're from up in Maine, is the University of New England. But they've yet to solve the Beacons' defense here. They're still cold on the offensive front as number 20, Colin Watts, surveys the scene. Instead, he'll go with a solo dodge, and the third save of the afternoon by Trevor Coppy. He goes low, scoops it, and that's going to be a legal play by Andrew Lawrence, who dispossessed Coppy, but his pass to the middle goes wide. It scatters free. It's picked up on the play by Sean Cullough. And now here come the Beaks with numbers of 4-on-3 as they hustle through the midfield. Patrick Carey ahead to Michael Claflin. Claflin, spin it. 7 different goal scorers on these 8 Beacon goals here. Greg Wolf started off the second quarter with his second of the day. Patrick Carey, the defender, then added one. And Jacob Banks, his first goal of the season. Here's a player who scored 2 goals in the last contest for the Beaks, Joe Myers. He goes from the right hand to the left-handed cradle before reversing course. Ball finds its way back to Luke Murphy. Over to Charlie Chapman. He set up the goal, scored by Banks, and now he scores by himself. Charlie Chapman, do it yourself. It was that individual opportunity, pardon me, that led to the Carey goal. That was all thanks to Chapman. This time, he'll just take care of it himself, ducks the shoulder, gets underneath his man defender, from the Nor'easters. It opens up that right-handed shot. You love to see him shoot it right-handed, dodging in from the midfield. And for Charlie Chapman, his third goal of the season, his first of the afternoon, 9 Beacons goals scored by 8 different goal scorers. And with 6 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the second quarter, the writing is on the wall on what to expect out of this contest today. Dobrinsky, he looked to maybe have lost that faceoff, but it's going to be an infraction on Jared Duffy, who normally is a very good face-off man for the Nor'easters. He's called for the infraction. Ball back to the Beaks, looking to hit double digits on the scoreboard. We're 24 minutes into this contest. 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Beaks leading 9-0. Yes, you heard that right, 9-0 against the University of New England team that, by all accounts, was a very game opponent for the Beaks. 3-3 on the season. They actually have a couple impressive wins. They won back-to-back games 13-4 and 14-5 respectively, but just looks like they never got off the bus coming in from Middleton, Maine today. As here's Gavin Admirand, wow, showing off. He had Cole Irvin fronting him on the defensive end. He beats him with a spin move and then just a laser. It stays low. It beats Matt Dayette low and to the left. And we might see a different Nor'easters goalie as we head into the second half, because for the second time today, Gavin Admirand has scored. It is his 11th goal on the season, and the goalie on that play, Matt Dayette, had just absolutely no chance of stopping that ball. As Admirand is a returning All-American. He's in double digits with goals, and he showed you why right there. 10-0. 9 goal scorers for the, or 8 different goal scorers for the Beacons, and same story. It's a face-off infraction against the Nor'easters. And the Beacons, they scored 5 in the first quarter, already have 5 here in the second quarter, just looking to really pile it on. Admirand with 2, Greg Wolf with 2. 2 players, maybe with their eyes looking towards a hat trick. Fahey, that was a pass in. He gets saved by his face-off man, Jack Dobrinsky, who resets possession to Admirand. And here come the Beaks. They go back to Derek Fahey. He has a goal today. Keeps the left-handed cradle alive this time before circling back. Fakes the pass to Claflin. Now spins, and the Beacons have an advantage. Claflin's open in the slot. Fahey looks his way. Instead, Derek going to just run some more time off this shot clock here. Have a man charging in for the defensive end was Przinski. Przinski yet to score in this contest, but just like on Tuesday, creating a lot of offensive opportunities for the Beaks. Taking it across. For the Nor'easters, Alden Balboni, he's had the ball quite a bit. Not normally asked to be a ball handler, but today with the Beacons defense, it's been his responsibility for a long time. And Trevor Coppy, yet to allow a goal as he scoops out his 4th save of the afternoon. Not a big test there from Gavin Tanis. Just the 4th shot to actually reach Coppy this afternoon, and he's 4 for 4 on saves. Talented junior having himself probably his best game of the season as Chad Kidd gets his full body into that one, rips it low. He loves going high to low on the shot, and he beats Matt Dayette. Well, we lost the scoreboard on the play. Do not count the goal. It's going to be offsides against the Beacons. We've lost the scoreboard. The referees see that, so we're going to have to get that one back here. We're around the 4.5-minute mark left to go in the second quarter. The Beacons are up 10-0. We just thought Chad Kidd scored a goal. Instead, it's going to be called off to an offsides. Matt Dayette really needed that one because he has not gotten to stop much, especially in the second quarter. He did have a string of 3 consecutive saves in the first quarter, but an afternoon to forget for the Nor'easters goaltender. Fakes the pass. He finally does thread it through to Gavin Tanis. No, actually, it is not controlled by Tanis. And it's another Nor'easters turnover. That is their 8th official lost turnover of the afternoon. That's quite a bit, and that number seems to be snowballing right now for the Nor'easters. Beacon's not wasting any time getting it right out of the defensive zone across the midfield and into the waiting hands of Luke Murphy. You have another member of the Nor'easters looking to pull up, might be hurt on the play. We'll keep our eyes on number 13, Kyle Kennedy, as the Nor'easters already have lost one of their big goal scorers for the afternoon in Sam McGowan. Dayette scooped that rolling loose ball up and finally calms this game down a bit for the Nor'easters, who really just trying to get their land legs under them here. Yet to score, just 4 shots on net, none of them a particular challenge to Trevor Coppy. That ball almost turned over, but Andrew Lawrence at the right place at the right time. And he'll walk it by himself just no numbers and a deep angle, he'll walk it into the offensive zone. Lawrence, if you're just tuning in, leads the team with 21 points and 10 assists. He's second on the team with 11 goals, and he hasn't had the ball really in his hands much at all to generate anything for the Nor'easters on offense. He likes to go from outside in. And finally a goal to break that scoreless streak for the Nor'easters. Look, to be number 16, Ryan Hazard got to walk that one in. And finally, UNE gets their first goal of the afternoon. And it comes from a familiar scorer, Ryan Hazard. That's his 12th goal of the season. He's a very efficient shooter. He scored 11 goals coming into this game on just 24 shots. That was his second shot of the afternoon today. Finds the twine, and Trevor Coppy beaten for the first time this afternoon. The score is 10-1. So it was 10 straight goals from the Beaks before the Nor'easters finally able to break their scoreless drought. Jared Duffy won the faceoff. He misses that shot high wide and to the left. And now the Beacons, they want to anchor down here. It took the Nor'easters 27.5 minutes to score their first goal in the contest. So when you look at that numbers, Beacons still doing great. I don't think they want to allow any more. I think they want this to be a one-and-done first half in terms of opponents' goals scored. A rip from the slot and 2 straight goals from the Nor'easters here, as that's number 22, Alden Balboni, scoring. Not asked to score all that often for the Nor'easters, just his 3rd goal in 7 games. But the 2nd goal for the Nor'easters here in the second quarter, and they ever so slightly shrink the gap. Score is Beacons 10, Nor'easters 2 on Balboni's first of the afternoon and 3rd of the season. Just 2 minutes, 13 seconds left to go here in this first half, in this second quarter. And Jason McNeely, he won the faceoff, but then he couldn't get to the ball in time. So that will be, depending on what gets picked up here, a Nor'easters faceoff win as this is walked all the way back into the offensive zone. Finally, Patrick Carey wins it for the Beacons. A rather wild pass to his brother-in-arm, Patrick Colburn. But now the Beacons, they have numbers. Walking this one all the way in is Justin McCullough. Hands it off to Michael Claflin. We have 2 long stick middies in on this offensive rush for the Beacons here. Fahey from the attack position, and he tucks that one into the bottom right-hand corner. There was almost no angle. Fahey can shoot with either the left or the right. He uses the left-handed shot, and he beats Matt Dayette for his 2nd goal of the afternoon. So Fahey, the 2nd of the afternoon for him, the 9th of the season for Derek Fahey. Depending on his assist numbers, he might be the 2nd Beacon to be flirting with 20 points on the season by the time this game is done. But even more importantly, that 2-goal streak from University of New England stopped in its track. 6 second-quarter goals for the Beacons, and they lead 11-2. Still a minute and a half left to go in this second quarter here. You got to think Coach Lau, his message to the Beacons seems to have been, just keep your foot on the gas pedal. And they have the entirety of this first half here. They might have forced a turnover, depending on if Andrew Lawrence can get to this one. He'll get to it, but he feels the slash off Patrick Carey, and now Carey picks it up, and he'll take care of business himself. Beacons with around 1 minute left in the second quarter, leading by 9. Carey slips it over to Claflin. Back around the outside perimeter, they go to Admiral. Admiral over to Greg Wolf. Wolf, one of 3 Beacons with 2 goals in this contest. Admiral and Fahey, the others, with 2 goals. Over to Jacob Banks. He scored his first goal of the season earlier today. Luke Murphy now as the rain starts to fall hard and heavy again at Cotter Field. 45 seconds left in this second quarter. Around the perimeter they go. That shot is blocked. Greg Wolf, actually, of the Beacons, he took that shot, blocked it as it came in from his own teammate. You can see he's still feeling the effects of that shot on the cold day, but he gets it out of trouble. Beautiful interception by Jacob Banks, though. He reads that pass, gets it back to Charlie Chapman. Chapman, right-handed shot, fakes it, dodges in. Oh, and he had a beautiful look on net, misses just high. But the Beacons, 24 seconds, plenty of time to draw up another look, and they'll let Gavin Admiran take those honors. Fronted on the play by Cole Irvin. Surveying, Admiran, 14 seconds on the right-handed cradle. Passes it to the middle to a cutting Greg Wolf, whose shot is kicked away by Matt Dayette. Wolf was vying for the hat trick right before halftime. 4 seconds on a running clock. Let's see, can Chapman rip it from the point? He does, gets it off in time, and just misses the net. So a furious offensive rally lasts all 30 minutes of the first half for the Beacons. In the rain, everything going good so far. It's halftime at Cotter Field. Beacons lead the University of New England Nor'easters 11-2. We'll take a break and have some halftime numbers for you when we come back after this on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. ready to start again? Okay, cool. And thankfully, the refs had what we had in mind. Very abbreviated halftime. 5-minute halftime. So we're going to hop right back into the action here, getting started with the third quarter. First half, all Beacons, they lead 11-2. 3 different Beacons with 2 goals, 8 different goal scorers so far. Just 2 goals scored by Northeastern midfielders, Ryan Hazard and Alden Balboni. We'll let the play reset. When we come back in, we'll give you a run-through of the scoring summary in the first half. Whew. Okay, no 42. The story of the first half, too, for the Nor'easters, 2 of their most talented players. One of their leading goal scorers, Sam McGregor, and really their best defender, Cole Ventimiglia, out with injuries in the early going of this contest. So the Beaks holding a 9-goal lead, retaining possession after the face-off infraction, and just picking up right where they left off. This was basically an extended quarter break as we had the very fast halftime. Weather, in case you were wondering, has not gotten any better here at Cotter Field. A little bit colder even, as the Beacons flirting with disaster there. They almost turn it over. Beautiful play there, actually warding off the defender is Donovan Przinski, allowing his midfield support to come on. And so the Beacons, almost a disaster to start the third quarter. Instead, they save it, and now they have possession, and Donovan Przinski leads the rush around the right circle. 11-2. Greg Wolf has scored the first goal of the first quarter, first goal of the second quarter. Will he start off the third quarter with a hat trick? Or maybe Derek Fahey, he also has 2 goals today. Dodges in, he fakes the left-handed shot before circling back, and now wins with a one-man move. Fakes the shot, goes all the way back to Donovan Przinski, and finally Przinski gets himself a goal. He's been around the action. Oh, nope, do not count it. Never mind. So for the second time in about 6 minutes, the Beacons had a goal, got it waved off, but play continues, and now Przinski has it, and right back at it come the Beacons on the attack. Beacons still leading 11-2, but Derek Fahey, right-handed shot, just gets around, and that is a new goalie. Alex Toms entering the action for the Nor'easters. 3 goalies on the depth chart for the Nor'easters, and Toms is normally the third-string goalie. This is his first action all year. They're going with Toms over the normal backup, Kyle Pryor. So Matt Dayette's day is over. He allows 11 goals on 25 shots in 2 periods of action. The Beacons just peppered him all first half. Not sure what happened there as Joe Myers just kind of let that one slip away. It goes out of bounds. And the Beacons do start off quarter number 3 with a turnover. All right, here we go. First quarter, 5 goals all scored by the Beacons, 5 different goal scorers. Greg Wolf, Chad Kidd, Derek Fahey, Michael Claflin, and Gavin Admirand. 5 more straight goals scored by the Beacons. Greg Wolf again for his second. Patrick Carey, then Jacob Banks, Charlie Chapman, and then Gavin Admirand scored his second. 2 Nor'easters goals made it 10-2, and then Derek Fahey scored his second goal of the contest right before halftime. Beacons leading 11-2. Trevor Coppy out, new goalie in, Christian Meinhold. So both goalies in the first half playing just one half. Christian Meinhold already with 30 minutes of action on the season. Very good numbers, 66% save percentage in those 30 minutes. So Trevor Coppy, he cannot get the win today, but he did everything he needed to. Allowed 2 goals, but made 5 saves. Wasn't tested all that much in the few times he was. Mainly answered the bell. Now that's Cole Irving. He's had a rough day on defense, getting charged with Oh, wow. Now that is a frustration play by Alden Balboni. And you can see, I mean, he takes a huge whack. He's very upset with somebody on the Beacons, and that was just as close to the ref could be. He wasn't trying to hide the slash. He gets called for it, and it will be a penalty against the Nor'easters. Now, it looked like Joe Myers was just kind of causing him some trouble there. Balboni has one of the 2 goals scored by the Nor'easters on the afternoon, but he'll get called for the slash, and this will be, at the very least, a minute-long man-up opportunity for the Beaks. Nor'easters, 2 man-up opportunities today. They scored 1 goal on one of their 2 opportunities. The Beacons did very well with the man-up against LaSalle. Let's see what they do here. Admirand walks it in. Penalty is against Alden Balboni for a slash. Derek Fahey, he quarterbacks from behind the net. Around the slot they go. Przinski thought he scored. Instead, they call it off, but he gets the assist on the Derek Fahey goal. And so Derek Fahey gets himself a hat trick to get the third quarter started. Beacons lead back up to 10, tied for their largest of the afternoon. That took just 2 minutes and 49 seconds to start off the third quarter with a goal, and it's Fahey with a hat trick, his 10th of the season. So now, the killer threes of Michael Claflin, Gavin Admiran, and Derek Fahey all already in double digits in goal scoring. The Beacons are just, 3 minutes into the third quarter of their fourth game of the season. That is unreal, the production that they're getting out of those big three. Funny enough, it was actually a quieter day for Fahey on Tuesday. Got himself a couple of assists, 1 goal, but he was defaulting a lot. Today, the ball has been in his stick really since the opening faceoff and limited, if any, mistakes. Speaking of no mistakes, Jack Dobrinsky, another faceoff win, vying for maybe a shot on goal. He'll take it, rip it. It gets by Toms, but it will stay with the Beacons as Admiran closest to it. So that one not really testing Toms. It goes wide. Always like to see the faceoff man get his opportunities with a shot on net. Admiran dodging. Instead, he'll pass it to the left. Chapman misses with a shot. It goes right to Gavin Admiran, but it will be turned over on the play by the Beaks. So New England takes over. This third quarter, a little bit more open than the first and second quarter. We've had a bit more of run of plays just stuck in the midfield part of the field as both teams have really diagnosed what each other's plan to do, and the Beacons have had a lot of success going behind the net and generating offense from the outside in. As another shot on goal from the long stick defender, Patrick Carey, he almost got his second of the day. He read the angle right. He just skipped it a little too high over the stick of Alex Toms. But once again, it's out of bounds. Beacons closest to it. Actually, I'm not sure what the play is there because possession will return over to New England. So, can't speculate. Didn't see what happened. Ball goes back to New England. I thought it was shot out off the Beacons. Instead, they'll call that a pass out of bounds. That's all there is to it. So, Nor'easter's back the other way. Alden Balboni, he is off. The Beacons did capitalize on that man-up opportunity. That goal by Fahey was scored with the man-up, so they're 1 for 1 on the, Lacrosse equivalent of a power play today with their 1 goal. Nor'easters, they've scored 2. One of those goals was scored with a man-up. Some new players out here for the Nor'easters. We haven't seen much of Jack Martin. He does have 2 goals on the season. He has it in the center slot here. Gets hit with a double team. Defense from Gil Delvey forces him to pass it all the way behind the net. So around they go. Here's Kyle Kennedy. Thought for a second Kennedy might have also gotten injured in the second quarter. He's all right, but that pass was intended for Martin. Kennedy can't grab it. And another turnover against the Nor'easters. It's been sloppy to say the least, but it hasn't gotten any better for a team that didn't score any goals in the first quarter. Scored just 2 in the second quarter. Now, that is an unfortunate number to look at if you're the University of New England. We still have 25 minutes to go. There's exactly 10 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and they already have 20 turnovers, 2-0, on pace for 30. Andrew Lawrence, haven't heard anything out of him today. He'll default back in the direction of Ryan Hazard. Hazard, 1 of 2 goals scored this afternoon for the Nor'easters, gives it to Balboni, sets the pick for him. Balboni scored the other one of the 2. Balboni gets cut off by Patrick Carey, who was having a phenomenal game from that defensive position. Elijah Beasley playing good fronting man of defense and playing it a little too hard. There's going to be a penalty against Elijah Beasley on the Beakser. That might be against Colburn on the backside of the play. But as it is, the Beacons commit their 3rd penalty of the afternoon, so this will be the 3rd time there is a man-up opportunity for the Beacons today. It is against Beasley. I didn't see what the penalty was there. It looked like he was just fronting his man on the Nor'easters with good defense. University of New England, 1 of 2 with a man up. Their 3rd opportunity. Here they go around the horn, and once again, they turn the ball over. That's been the story for the 21st time today. It's an error by the Nor'easters. And once again, now if you're the Beacons, you want to just play that slow, sustained, long run-up, get the ball into the hands of a midfielder that knows what he's doing with it, a la Luke Murphy, and let him just run this penalty off the clock. 9 minutes, 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Beacons up very comfortably. They lead 12-2. They were up 11-2 at halftime here. Derek Fahey scored the first goal of this third quarter, earning himself a hat trick. Fahey has 3 this afternoon. Admiran has 2. Greg Wolf has 2. And then Chad Kidd, Michael Claflin, Patrick Carey, Jacob Banks, Charlie Chapman, all with 1. So as nice as Tuesday's win was against LaSalle University, that was against the 0-3 team. This is against the 3-3 team with some impressive wins on their resume. And another unimpressive play on offense from the University of New England is Gavin Tanis was waltzing into a one-on-one opportunity against Beacon's goalie. I didn't actually. Who in right now? Yes, so in against Meinhold, the third-string goalie for the Beacons, he's in right now. Tanis was waltzing into a goal-scoring opportunity against Meinhold and just never looked to pass into the basket. So now the Beacons back the other way, still holding 10, tied for their largest lead of the night, trying to get themselves an 11-goal lead. Charlie Chapman has 1 goal already. He set up another one, and that's Chad Kidd actually with it over to Michael Claflin. Claflin just 1 goal today. 4 assists, though, from the ultra-talented midfielder. Looks over to Chapman. Chapman dancing on the dodge. Can't get too deep in with the penetration. Instead, gives it off to Przinski. Przinski fakes the right-handed shot, and maybe he should have shot it. Was looking in the direction of Mick Flynn. Flynn actually scored a goal in the game on Tuesday, and I don't know if Przinski would have been better served just shooting that one. It's a turnover. One of few for the Beacons up to this point. That's just their 8th. Believe their 8th turnover of the afternoon. It's actually their 10th turnover of the afternoon, but still 21 turnovers committed by the Nor'easters up to this point, and now a full-fledged attack as their goalie Alex Toms walked it in, and his pass is intercepted. And Patrick Carey, if he was feeling a little froggy, he might have taken an attempt on net. Instead, he'll just walk it in, and the Beacons now have a very tired goalie in net for the Nor'easters. He just ran out to midfield before his pass got picked off. Claflin biding his time. Over to Flynn. Mick Flynn. Was able to dodge through both defenders. He gets dispossessed. Good play there by Chapman, though, to pick it up and reset for the Beaks. And now here's Chapman. He'll face up the defense before handing it off to Liam Bowler, seeing his first action for the Beaks here at midfield. Who looks over to Zach Mann. So Zach Mann, a 2-man game with Fowler, dodging in, fakes the left-handed shot, goes back, loses it, scoops it, able to regain control. A lot of players towards the middle of the Beacons depth chart on the field right now in this third quarter with them comfortably up 10. Claflin, he sits at the top of the depth chart, and he has Greg Wolf right there, and that shot doesn't go in. It actually hits the back of the net. Wolf vying for the hat trick. He can't capitalize. Here's Flynn. Flynn fakes the handoff, circles around, goes back to Claflin. Claflin to Joe Myers. Myers over to Bauer. And Liam Bowler now on the dodge. Has the right-handed cradle, looks over to Mann. That pass kind of behind Mann. It forced him to change his momentum. He can't complete the play, and that's the 12th turnover of the afternoon now for the Beaks. So the action was fast-paced, scoring hot and heavy in those first 2 quarters. We've seen just 1 goal in 9 minutes of action in the third quarter here. Alden Balboni, he has 1 of 2 Nor'easters goals today. Can't even really take it past the 40-yard line of the football field, which sits 30 yards away from the Lacrosse goal. And that's really where the Nor'easters have been stuck out at the entirety of this game. Not sure what happened there. Oh, how about that? The ball got into the jersey of the attacking player of the University of New England. That was Ryan Hazard. Now, he had a goal today. He had a head full of steam. They couldn't connect the pass to him, but it got lost in his jersey. And what would have been a juicy ground ball for New England instead of turnover. Ball back to the Beaks, who promptly turn it over. And here come the Nor'easters the other way. Kyle Kennedy with the ball in his hands. Beacons 12. Nor'easters 2. 5:15 left in the third quarter. Gavin Tanis with the left-handed dodge from behind the net, nothing doing, and they'll reset it to Ryan Hazard. Hazard to Balboni. Balboni to Lawrence, and there you go. Andrew Lawrence, you were expecting to hear his name at some point today. He finally breaks his mini schneid. He's the team leader in goals for the Nor'easters, and he scores his first of the afternoon. Beacon's still up by 9. It's 12-3. But that goal putting some wind behind the sails of number 39, Andrew Lawrence. He's the team leader with points as well, so he now has 22 points on the year. His 12th, team's third. Beacon's still up comfortably, 12-3. 5:01 left to go in this third quarter. Andrew Lawrence, just a junior. And I mentioned that he scored 11 goals. He only took 15 shots to get those 11 goals. It's just hyper-efficient lacrosse that he likes to play. That's the second shot he's taken all day today, and he gets his first goal. So 1 goal apiece here in the third quarter as the Beacons looking for their second. Dobrinsky winning the faceoff once again threatens the attack. Hands it off to Wolf. Wolf gives it back to Fahey. Fahey can walk into that one if he wants. Instead, has a man across the face of the goal mouth. It's Mick Flynn, and Derek Fahey set that one up himself. As he faked the shot, he drew 2 members of the Nor'easters. Flynn circled behind the net, his second goal in as many days. And wow, what an impressive afternoon for the Beaks. They just keep on rolling. There's 4:42 left in the third, and they're back up 10. It's 13-3. You can thank Derek Fahey for that goal as he adds another assist to his 3-goal day. First goal of the afternoon for Mick Flynn, his second of the season. So Beaks back up 10. Once again, 10 has been their largest lead of the afternoon. They've had a 10-goal lead 3 separate times. They win the faceoff there. Fahey tried to take on 2 defenders. Flag comes in late. Now, this could be one of 2 things. This could either be a penalty on the player for the Nor'easters who hit Fahey, or it could be a penalty against Fahey for the way he reacted to that. He picks up the flag, so we'll wait and see what the official word is. No, Fahey stays on the field. He took a giant shot, so it's nice to see that that was the call. I believe cross-check, technically. And it's going to be against Matt DeSimone, one of the better defenders for the Nor'easters. Beacons, 1 of 2 in their 2 man-up opportunities today. Derek Fahey scored a goal with a man-up, the first goal of this third quarter. And the Beacons right back at it with a man-up here as DeSimone commits the penalty. Zach Mann on the left wing, across to the right wing to Michael Claflin. Around the perimeter they go. Wolf to Fahey behind the net, back to Wolf. It pulls Wolf off the shot. So instead they go back out to Claflin. Claflin fakes the shot, passes it to Admirand, right back to Claflin. Not sure who the target player is here, but the Beacons have done a great job staggering their offense if that shot goes high and wide from Brzezinski. They've done a great job keeping an unbalanced offense and just getting that one Nor'easter defender to slide over at the wrong time, and they've had a lot of just one-touch goals right around the net. That's probably going to be the focus here with the man-up. About 40 seconds left on this man-up opportunity, and it's going to be a turnover in front of the Nor'easters' net. That could very well lead to a missed man-up opportunity, which is, one of the few chinks in the armor for the Beacons today. 3 different man-up opportunities now, just 1 goal. As once again, Alex Tom's not afraid to handle the ball a little bit. He has a defender right in front of him. This time he connects on that difficult pass to Todd Crevady. But Crevady runs right into Derek Fahey. He gets dispossessed. Now 2 Nor'easters run into each other in midfield. They would have had the ground ball. Ultimately, it's Ryan Hazard saving the day for the University of New England. That could have been a disaster for the Nor'easters. Now they have a 5-on-2. All the room in the world and a huge save on the play by Christian Meinhold. Oh my goodness. Colin Jackson, number 23, is going to be kicking himself for that one. One of the best opportunities right at the goal mouth. And number 2, Christian Meinhold answering the bell. He played in just 30 minutes of lacrosse so far this season. Really the second shot he's had to face. His first save of the afternoon, and it's a big one. The Beacons hold that 13-3 lead after giving up a 5-on-2 opportunity, and now dodging ahead is Matt Palin, and the speedy midfielder takes it across the midfield line where the Beacons will turn to set their offense. Palin, Del Valle, and Banks, the 3 midfielders holding down the offense for the Beacons in this latter part of the third quarter. 13-3 the score. It's been all Beacons all game long. That's a very good individual play by Matt DeSimone, who just got called for the penalty. Now he's got a 4-on-3 if the Nor'easters hurry, but Lawrence, who just scored a goal, gets knocked off his feet. It's the long stick midfielder Chase Walter picking up the ball and keeping it in the offensive zone for the Nor'easters. Still plenty of time on that shot clock, 55 seconds. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the third quarter. In what has been a confirmation of some wishful thoughts by Beacons fans. Hey, this lacrosse team, you looked at them through the first 3 games, looked to be a contender. They're proving that, yes, they are a contender. Very good chance to repeat in this Little East Conference, as the Beacons looking very solid in this non-conference run of play. Nice play there by Gavin Tanis to keep that possession alive. It's going to force a turnover call against the Beacons. The whistle blows now. As Simon Puro got the ball and was getting it out of trouble. I believe that's going to be the second penalty of the day against Elijah Beasley, unless they call it on Patrick Carey. So let's see. It's either going to be 1-1 or 1-5 whistled for the penalty. And we'll see as both players talking to Coach Lowe. No, it's actually going to be Patrick Carey whistled for the penalty. He takes a knee. And the Nor'easters with a man-up opportunity. Both teams 1 of 3 on their man-up opportunity. So this is the 4th one of the afternoon for the University of New England. Clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter as Ryan Hazard dodges with the left hand, has Andrew Lawrence, has a man in the slot, but he lost it. That was Kyle Kennedy right in front of the net, couldn't hold it cleanly. Instead, that was Christian Meinhold, the goalie, getting it out of trouble. Handing it off to Luke Murphy, and as he is wont to do, Murphy getting it out of trouble, loves having the ball around midfield, can break through the midfield defense and into the attacking zone. That was a beautiful pass that got into Patrick Colburn. Colburn gets it inside to Wolf, and now the Beacons, with around 1 minute left in the 3rd quarter, going to hold here for a good opportunity. Oh, Wolf tried to go with the no-look backward shot. He almost beat Alex Toms. You know Greg Wolf is thinking about that hat trick. He scored the first goal of the game. He scored the first goal of the 2nd quarter. Has been quiet ever since, but not for lack of opportunity. And the ball almost turned over at midfield by the Nor'easters, but instead that's number 8, Chase Walter, who's had a good game at the long stick midi position, getting it out of trouble. Great defense on the play, though, from Jack Ranta. He got his stick in the way. That was not a clean shot. And back come the Beaks with 45 seconds on a running clock. Admiran, he had Claflin, and Claflin made that move before he had the ball. Claflin running out of there with a little bit of a limp. Everything going well for the Beacons, but if Michael Claflin gets hurt in a game that the Beacons are already up 10 late in the 3rd quarter, that would be a decision that, as the ball is kicked ahead, that would be a decision that Coach Lau would very much rue, allowing one of his best players to maybe get hurt this late in the game. He comes off now as Del Valle comes in, and he sets a pick on the play for number 8, Gavin Admiran, and Admiran, he finds Twine. He will be the 2nd Beacon to record a hat trick today. So Del Valle came on for the injured Claflin, just set a pick. Admiran worked around it. Nobody came over to stop the shot from Gavin Admiran, and he will take that 10 times out of 10. He scores. He gets the hat trick, and now he takes over the team, he ties Michael Claflin for the team lead in goals. 12 goals on the season for Gavin Admiran. He's tied with Claflin. Fahey, remember, he has a hat trick today, so he has 10. So 3 Beacons all in double digits scoring. As Gavin Admiran scores the Beacons' 3rd of the 3rd quarter with just 13 seconds left to play. So limited time, but Jack Dobrinsky wins the faceoff. He runs right down the slot, has Mick Flynn, and Mick Flynn scores his 2nd goal of the afternoon. Unreal execution from the Beacons. Just 7 seconds between goals. You can give Jack Dobrinsky, the big star next to that one. He wins the faceoff, rumbles down the middle of the field, and gets the pass over to Mick Flynn, who all he had to do was pick a corner and put the ball into the net. Flynn's 2nd of the game, his 3rd of the season. And the Beacons all over the New England Nor'easters, 15-3. Kind of joked about them being on pace to have a 20-goal game, and they're on pace for that right now as the final seconds tick away, and the Beacons, 45 minutes of lacrosse down, few, if any, mistakes. We have 1 quarter remaining, and we'll come to it right after this break. Through 3 quarters, the UMass Boston Beacons 15, the University of New England Nor'easters 3. The final quarter after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. We're about to rejoin the action here to start the fourth quarter. Your UMass Boston Beacons up very comfortably. It's 15-3, 45 minutes of action gone, and the Beacons averaging a goal every 3 minutes. It's been a nice sight to see here. The rain, the wind, none of the elements have stopped the Beacons up to this point. Gavin Admiran, Derek Fahey, each with a hat trick. And Mick Flynn, 2 goals already in this contest for the midfielder, as the starting 9 still out on the field right now for the Beacons. They very well might smell blood. It's going to be a delayed penalty here against the Beaks, so the Nor'easters get a chance to set up an offensive look. Andrew Lawrence has it behind the net. Passes it back to Colin Jackson. Jackson just missed a great opportunity, but he has a teammate pick up the slack for him, as that's big number 13, Kyle Kennedy, finding Twine for his first goal of the afternoon. We mentioned that there were 5 players on University of New England to look out for as they're prone to score, and 4 of those 5 different goal scorers have scored for the Nor'easters. Luckily, just 1 apiece. That's the first goal of the afternoon for Kyle Kennedy. It's his team-leading 13th goal of the season, but it doesn't do much to change the flow of this game. The Beacons are still up by 11, the score 15-4. Looking at that numbers as we were through 3 quarters, the Beacons all over University of New England up to this point. 39 shots for the Beacons compared to just 16 for the Nor'easters. The Nor'easters actually out ground balling the Beacons. They've won 31 ground balls to the Beacons 26, and the Beacons have been peppering New England goalies. They have made 9 saves so far in this contest. 5 saved for the Beacons, 4 by Trevor Copy in the first half, and just 1 needed by Christian Meinhold in the third quarter. It was an absolutely beautiful save. So it's 15-4. Nor'easters just scored with the ball again. They trail by 11. Beacons' largest lead of the game, 12. They just held it. And another turnover, and Colin Jackson having himself an afternoon to forget. You can see him frustrated, has his hands on his head, slams his stick to the turf, and now almost got left behind in transition defense there. He had that pass on a silver platter from Alden Balboni, and it just hit his cradle, and he dropped it while lowering the shoulder and moving the needle as Elijah Beasley. He'll dodge all the way in from the defensive end before circling back and resetting this Beacons attack. Gets it to Derek Fahey. And here's Fahey surveying the scene. He's been able to do whatever he wants for the Beacons today, has 3 goals with at least 3 assists up to this point. 1 of 2 Beacons with a hat trick so far. Przinski behind the net to Wolf. Wolf was looking for a charging man. Man couldn't field the pass cleanly, and that one was touched illegally by Justin McCullough on the wrong side of the midfield line. It wasn't the hottest start to the third quarter for the Beacons. The game was actually at that 13-3 mark for quite a bit, but 2 very late goals from Gavin Admiran and Mick Flynn with 13 and 7 seconds left respectively really has put this game fully out of reach. And going through the motions now are both teams. Here's Andrew Lawrence. He has 11 goals on the season. He did score 1. He scored the lone goal for the Nor'easters in the third quarter. Nothing doing there as he's fronted by the 2-man duo of Simon Puro and Patrick Colbert. And here's Alden Balboni. His pass intended for Colin Watt. Watt had a good start to the first quarter. I haven't really heard anything from him since. He can't corral the pass. It gets turned over, and the Beacons up 11, charging back down the field again. Luke Murphy switches to the left-handed cradle. He'll dodge all the way inside. He gets taken down. No flag on the play, and now a very late flag, but I think this might actually be a crease warning on the Beacons because the Nor'easters goalie had his stick on the ball. And so, no, it's actually going to be a penalty against the play on the Nor'easters. So, from bad to worse, as another man-up opportunity presents itself in front of the Beacons, we have our 3rd different goalie in for the afternoon for the Nor'easters. It was Matt Dayette. He started and played the entire first half. Then Alex Toms came in, made a couple of big saves in this third quarter. And now the 3rd different goalie, Kyle Pryor, in net for the Nor'easters. Pryor, a solid one game of action. He played in 1 half. Faced 8 shots in that half, allowed 4 goals, but made 4 saves. So he's going to get his first extended run of play. Joe Myers able to keep that one in for the Beaks. as we're 3 minutes, 10 seconds into this fourth and final quarter with the Beacons up 11. Fahey, back to Flynn. Flynn with 2 goals, might be thinking hat trick here. Instead, they go to Greg Wolf, and he gets himself a hat trick. Beautiful entry pass from Donovan Przinski, and it's Greg Wolf. He scored the first goal of the first quarter, the first goal of the second quarter, and he gets his 3rd goal of the afternoon. The 3rd Beacon hat trick. Fahey got it first, then Admiran got one very late in the 3rd quarter, and now Greg Wolf, his 5th goal of the season, his 3rd of the game, and the Beacons, they equal their scoring output from last Tuesday. They have 16 goals, still 11:40 left to go in the contest. Beacons have had the strong advantage in the faceoff circle. This is their 2nd-string faceoff man, Jason McNeely. He won it, but he commits the infraction, so the ball will go back to the Nor'easters. Really, if you're the University of New England, you're just playing for pride at this point. We mentioned they don't play in close games. They either win by a bunch or they lose by a bunch. And right now, I think we know what story is being written for this contest for the University of New England. Remember, the Beacons scored 10 straight goals to get this game started. So the Nor'easters just haven't really been able to answer any of the adversity they've faced in this contest. They have it here, circling deep around their offensive zone. Just 4 goals this afternoon. The Beacons held the LaSalle University Lasers to 8 last contest. And that one's frustrating because that is the aforementioned Colin Watt, who up until this point, the Beacons kept him quiet, and he was able to just rumble on through. He had a wide open lane to get a shot off, and he connects for the goal, the 5th of the afternoon for the Nor'easters. It's the 5th of the season for Colin Watt. And I think the Beacons will be able to survive this. That brings it back to an 11-goal game. Largest lead of the game, 12 for the Beacons. They've had a 12-goal lead once and an 11-goal lead twice. Another infraction for McNeely. He's not having as good of an afternoon as Dobrinsky has had in the faceoff circle. Nor'easters with the ball, and it goes back to Andrew Lawrence. Lawrence set up the assist on the last goal, having himself a quiet afternoon, but a very solid player for this Nor'easters team. Works on Del Valle, spins it around, who goes back to Ryan Hazard. Hazard probably the best game of that big quintet of offensive stars for the Nor'easters. He has a goal. He just seemed to maybe make some fewer mistakes than some of the other midfielders on offense here for the Nor'easters. They love going behind the net and setting up the offense, but the back line, especially Patrick Colburn back there, has been phenomenal. And he is pestering Kyle Kennedy to no end. Great play on the defensive end there that was number 26, Justin McCullough, just poking the stick right out of the hand of the Beacon ball or of the Nor'eastern ball handler. Forcing the turnover, yet another turnover for the Nor'easters. And now McCullough, they reward him with having to clear the puck through midfield. Clear the ball through midfield. Now he gets the pass into the middle of the slot as the wild pass in from Shane McGonigal was intended towards Gil Del Valle and hit his stick. He couldn't control it cleanly, and it's a turnover for the Beacons. A lot of new players on the field now. This is number 29, Matt German, bringing the ball up from his normal defensive spot. Flag on the field. It's going to be a flag against... I thought it was going to be a flag against the University of New England. Instead, it'll be offside against the Beaks. And so players will make their way to the bench here. A couple substitutions on the fly for both sides. Patrick McCoy was out there. Patrick Colburn was out there. And it's going to be a penalty against Jacob Banks. So it was offsides. It was one player too many on offense for the Beacons. Couldn't tell who it was. It was Jacob Banks. The 5th penalty committed by the Beacons. Similar story to what happened in the game on Tuesday. They gave LaSalle a lot of man-up opportunities. LaSalle was able to convert half of them. This is the 5th penalty against the Beacons. They have allowed 1 goal in 4 man-up opportunities up to this point. Spinning around is Colin Jackson. Jackson trying to get a shot off as he wants to try and get his name in the box score as he lost a beautiful opportunity and a shot on net earlier on in that 3rd quarter. That shot plucked out of midair by Christian Meinhold. 2 saves, both of them have been impressive. He takes some contact from Lawrence on that pass, ultimately is able to get it to Jack Ranta. Ranta to Meinhold, and Andrew Lawrence applying the pressure. He hasn't given up yet in this game, but the ball is in the hands of Luke Murphy. He goes across the timeline, and the Beacons now on the attack, just trying to wind down the clock on what is currently an 11-goal lead and what will be the 4th win of the 2022 campaign for the UMass Boston Beacons. Colin Ford going to work on the individual dodge here before circling it back out to Charlie Chapman. Chapman has scored already this afternoon. He wheels it back out deep to the wing before going all the way behind the net to Fahey. Fahey a little lax there on the entry pass. He recovers. And now a one-on opportunity. He gets dispossessed. Beautiful play on defense by the Nor'easter defender, Ryan Vieno. And now coming back the other way with it is Nor'easter number 27, Cole Curry. We've seen Curry have it quite a bit in the middle of the field with that long stick. He plays long stick midi. Not the best ball handler, but he was able to get it out of trouble that time and reset the Nor'easter's attack. Lowering the shoulder on that play is Alden Balboni. We've seen him play with a bit of a mean streak. He drew a penalty on a slash, which he took, I think, rather kind of intentionally right in front of the ref earlier in this contest. He has it, walking in along the right slot. Rips a shot. That hit a body in front. That was Patrick McCoy, number 99. It just hit him. And doesn't seem any worse for the wear. Good job putting his body on the line. Beacons force the turnover. And the ball is back in the stick of Christian Meinhold. Meinhold cross-field pass that kind of just went right into the knees of Patrick Colburn. But he's very sure-handed with the ball. He gets it ahead to Justin McCullough. McCullough seeing a bit more playing time in the latter half of this ball game as he gets it to Dara Fahey. And now Fahey, right-handed dodge. Cross-field pass. He was vying for the Mick Flynn hat trick. Flynn goes aerial, can't corral the pass cleanly. It'll be a crease interference against Mick Flynn. Now, if he would have caught the pass and got the shot off in time, if he would have scored, it would have been legal. But because he then did go into the crease and the ball was still loose, that's why possession will change back to the Nor'easters. Clock's been running most of the fourth quarter. We've had just 3 goals in this fourth quarter. We're under the 7-minute mark here as we have our 4th goal of the third quarter. The 2nd straight goal for Nor'easter midfielder Colin Watt. Watt scores his 2nd of the afternoon, his 6th on the season. And the Nor'easters are able to bring it back to within 10. It's 16-6. We mentioned that Colin Watt was not one of those 5 goal scorers that already had double digits for the Nor'easters, but he was kind of number 6 on that depth chart. But Sam McGregor, he got hurt very early on in this contest. And Sam McGregor with 9 goals on the season. Watt has come in, provided the energy. He had a good first quarter. He's having a good fourth quarter. And the Nor'easters making this scoreline look a bit more respectable at 16-6. Dodging ahead, Ben Gowell. He's the 2nd-string face-off man for the Nor'easters, but he's actually had a very effective game in the face-off circle for UNE. Miscommunication there. I'm not sure if Hazard was ready, but he has it now. And deep along the left sideline with the ball on offense are the Nor'easters. Ben Sales, number 32, into the action for the Nor'easters. He loses the ball, almost carries it out of bounds. He gets pestered on the play by Patrick McCoy. And that is going to be the call. Ball just taken directly out of bounds on the play by Ben Sales. That was his first time with the ball on his stick the whole contest. And he commits the turnover. But the Beacons give it right back as that pass from Colburn nowhere near Gil Del Valle. And now with it in the near side slot is number 32, Ben Sales. He can't get the shot off, but he will draw the penalty and keep the ball in the offensive zone for the Nor'easters. Colburn caught with his stick in the cookie jar there. He resets. Nor'easters reset. 6 minutes left to go here in a very entertaining, albeit cold and rainy, Saturday afternoon lacrosse game here at Cotter Field. Circling around is Sales. He draws the foul. So doing a good job just creating opportunities is number 32 on offense for the Nor'easters. Deep behind the net with it is Cole Irving. He hands it off to Sales. Sales, I think he thought about switching to the right hand to maybe scoop a shot in. Doesn't get the shot off. There's been a delayed penalty on for quite a bit against the Beacons, and finally the whistle will blow, as I believe the penalty will go against number 7, Matt Palin, who touches the ball and heads towards the penalty box. That play was a delayed penalty for quite some time, waiting on the Beaks penalty. And the game not slipping away, but the momentum is slipping away a little bit for the Beacons now as New England has had the ball in their offensive zone quite a bit this fourth quarter. So we'll get a look at the third goalie. All 6 goalies have been used now in this contest. That's usually a good sign if you're the team winning, because it means you've been in front for a while. So Otto Kierlees comes on, spelling Christian Meinhold. Meinhold, a very impressive 20 minutes of play to start the second half. Hadn't been tested much, and he was able to make 3 saves in his time. Fahey cuts inside, has a shot on net, and finishes, and it is the 4th goal of the afternoon for Derek Fahey. He now has 11 on the season. Only player in this contest with 4 goals. And the Beacons, they do score more than Tuesday. They are up to 17. And, I don't know if it's going to be on the agenda for head coach Tyler Lau, but the opportunity is still there to get to the 20-goal mark. Fahey scores his 4th. 10 goals combined between Fahey, Wolf, and Gavin Admiran. And that's the story as the Beacons now back up 11, 17-6. Fahey, if you look at the stat sheet, he's played in almost every minute available to him. Just such a confident player with the ball in his hand, and he was setting up plays on the offensive end as we have a Nor'easters goal on the play scored by number 24, Ben Gowell. He won the faceoff and walked it right in for the goal. But yeah, as I was saying, on Tuesday, 2 assists for Fahey, 1 goal. Wasn't doing much. They didn't have a lot of plays drawn up for him, and he was defaulting because there were other players on the midfield making plays happen. Today, he's put matters into his own hands. 7 goals now on the afternoon for the Nor'easters, scored by 6 different goal scorers. That was Ben Gowell winning the faceoff and taking it in for the goal. His 4th goal of the campaign. Now, most face-off specialists are truly that specialist. Gowell is a very good face-off man that also plays midfield for the Nor'easters. So I'm not sure how many of his goals have come off face-offs, but his 4th of the season does. And so now Dara Fahey, with the deficit back to 10, maybe vying for his 5th goal of the afternoon. Oh, he can do it himself. Dodges 2 defenders and goes high into the left corner and nets it. You didn't know which hand he was going to shoot it with because he had the advantage the whole way. Was faking the right-handed dodge, switched to the left, and then he went top left with the left-handed shot. No way for number 31, Kyle Pryor, to stop that angle. And Derek Fahey, goal number 5. Beacons back up 11. It's 18-7. 12th goal of the year now for Fahey, who is tied. It is now a 3-way tie. 12 different goal scorers. 3 different goal scorers for the Beaks with 12. We didn't have a lot of goals in that 3rd quarter. 7 total already in this 4th quarter. 3 different goalies across these 2 teams have seen action in this 3rd quarter. Remember, it's Otto Kierlees in net now for the Beaks and Kyle Pryor in net now for the Nor'easters. 4 minutes left in this contest. Beacons with 18. Do they try and get to the 20-goal mark here? You really impose your will on another team if you can get up to 20 goals. Colin Watt had a cutting Ryan Hazard on the play. That pass did not find its target. Not deflected by any Beacons, and so possession will turn over. Beaks back on offense, and you can see they're bringing out the big guns here on offense. Looks like Patrick Colburn back out onto the field. Have Jack Aranta back out on the field. So some starters, Elijah Beasley, he gets a lot of minutes. You have players here that can move the ball offensively for the Beacons. They're back on the field right now. I misread the hand signal by the referee. My apologies. So it will be out, but stay with University of New England. As it is, 3 minutes and 53 seconds left here, and the Beacons ratcheting up the defense. Maybe still trying for the 20 goals. Andrew Lawrence, that pass to no one in particular, but it gets to Ryan Hazard, who snaps a shot that hits square off the top crossbar and is now bounding through the outfield of Monin Park from center field towards right field right now. That was an absolute laser. Kierlees would have had no shot at that, but it pinged square off the crossbar. Beacons catch a break. They still lead 11, 18-7. 3.5 minutes left in this contest as Patrick Carey takes a chop at that one, dispossesses the Nor'easter ball handler, and gets the possession back to the Beacons. If you're just tuning in, well, there's been a lot of offense for the Beaks. Derek Fahey leading all goal scorers with 5. Gavin Admiran, Greg Wolf each with 3. Those 3 have combined for 11. Looks like the referee threw a flag from the sideline, and now a late flag as there is some action right in front of the University of New England bench. Sorry, just trying to make heads or tails of what actually happened here, because there was definitely a foul on the play and then a separate reactionary flag thrown. You see number 25, Matt DeSimone. He's anticipating a stay in the sin bin for the Nor'easters, and we'll get the official call momentarily what just happened on that play. The last thing you want to have happen in a game that's already been decided is an extended delay or any sort of ejections. A lot of signals from the referee to the booth right now, and so we'll wait for the announcement and see what ends up happening here. But if you're just tuning in, 3:22 left to go in this contest. It has been all Beacons. No rain, wind, sleet, cold. It's been able to get in the way of this Beaks offensive attack. 5 total goals scored in the first quarter, 8 in the second quarter, 5 in the third, and we already have 7 here in this fourth and final quarter. Beacons on offense, a lot of starting players still out on the field for the Beaks. Przinski's out there along with Fahey. This looks to be, that's number 3, Charlie Chapman, waiting for the go-ahead. As whatever was called there will just be offsetting penalties. 2 men total in the box. Colin Jackson for the Nor'easters. Jason McMeany for the Beaks. So this will be offsetting penalties. We are playing at even strength, and we have a timeout on the field. They'll take a break, and so we will as well. 3 minutes left to go. That's all it's going to be between the Beaks and their 4th win of the season. We'll have the finale for you right after this on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Alrighty, hopefully no more stoppages in play, as it looks like we have some precipitation falling again here over Connor Field. It's been doing that all day. The Beacons have been making it rain offensively all afternoon. 18 goals for the Beaks as they're still on offense here. Sniffing goal number 19. Charlie Chapman handed it off to Jacob Banks. Banks for the goal this afternoon over to Donovan Przinski. Looked for a pass in the direction of a cutting Max Ranta. He couldn't pick it up. It gets cut away by Kyle Pryor. Great play by the goalie. He keeps the Nor'easters out of trouble. Keeps this an 11-goal deficit. Chapman, as he is known to do, just bringing the intensity on the defensive end from that midfield position, trying to dispossess number 29, Matt German. And German threw it right to Simon Puro. Puro with the interception in midfield, takes a spill, able to keep possession, and get the ball over to his teammate, Owen Gallagher. Nice play by big number 19 there. You see him out on the basketball court, too, every now and then for the Beaks. Dispossessed the Nor'easter. He took a spill, but he kept his possession alive. And now the Beacons, 2 minutes, 15 seconds left. Once again, 18 goals and an ugly turnover right there. Hate to bring it up, but that's Shane McGonigal who just came into the game. And I'm not sure if that one's on him or on Matt Palin, but what should have been a very simple pass scurries out of bounds. And unbeknownst to me, there was actually a flag away from the play, so maybe that's why that happened. It's going to be a push, it's going to be on Ryan Hazard, and the Beacons once again go a man up. If there's one thing the Beacons haven't done well today, it's convert on these man-up opportunities. Just 2 man-up goals, and now the 6th opportunity. So the Beacons can get it back to 50% with a conversion here. Ryan Hazard in the box, along with his teammate Colin Jackson from that prior penalty. So actually, Beaks playing 2 men up right now. Charlie Chapman on the offensive slot over to Colin Ford. They'll work a 2-man game. Chapman, He has a shot to connect from that far out. Instead, he looks over to his teammate Jacob Banks, whose left-handed shot scurries just wide. It goes out of bounds, but we are now under the 2-minute mark. So the Beacons retaining possession. It's Owen Gallagher walking it in over to Colin Ford. Ford from the angle shot misses just high into the left. He went low, tried to go low to high. Pryor couldn't get the stick on it. Quickly back with it. Dodging through, back out to Chapman. Chapman's shot goes wide, and once again, 2 Beacons win the race to the baseline. So Max Ranta is now in, filling that backside attacker slot that you see Fahey and Claflin in a lot of the time. Chapman to Gallagher down low, and oh, Gallagher had a wide open look. You can see he is none too pleased with himself as he misses that shot wide into the right. But once again, Ranta there, closest to the ball. He'll start the Beacons' offensive attack. 1:35 left to go in the contest. Beacons with 18, maybe trying to get to 20. Colin Ford lost it. He gets it back, and now he'll reset as he circles behind the net. Ford kept his wits about him there to get it to Chapman. Chapman had a bunch of bodies in front of the goalie as he goes low to high on the shot. It misses high. But the Beacons offense, this is the second unit on offense, doing a great job generating some slashing looks from midfielders who don't normally see a lot of playing time. Zach Mann does, and he has to scurry all the way back to midfield to reset. Oh, great dodge on the play by Jacob Banks, and he'll finish. That is a pretty individual effort by Jacob Banks, and it finishes with his second goal of the afternoon and second goal of the season. A little dipsy-do from the midfield for Banks. It freed him up in that man-mark opportunity. He's able to walk into a long shot and rip it inside the top left corner. 1 minute and 8 seconds left. The 8th goal of the 4th quarter. The 19th goal scored by the Beacons. They still have a chance to score that 20th goal today. They lead 19-7. And it will fall on the back of Jason McNeely to give the Beacons that opportunity. He's scurrying for it. Down low, he's getting pestered by the Nor'easters' defense, and that's going to be a very nice play on the backside by number 8, Chase Walter, who's actually having a phenomenal game in that long stick midfielder position. Good save on the play by Kierlees as he blocks the shot away of Ben Sales. And here comes Gil Del Valle and the Beacons, 43 seconds on a running clock, 19 goals this afternoon. 2-man game here, Gallagher to Del Valle. Ball is low, it's kicked around. Ultimately, Ranta gets it back out to the direction of, that's that's Evan Toomley, the long stick midfielder. He swings it over to Matt Palin. Palin dodges in from the X. Now has a man cutting backside. Banks going for the hat trick. The shot is blocked. The rebound scooped up, and another save on the play by Kyle Pryor, having a great 4th quarter in net for the Nor'easters. 10 seconds left. One last opportunity for the Beaks trying to score that 20th goal. Shot in. It goes out of bounds. That shot coming from Shane McGonigal. One last chance for the Beaks with 2.4 seconds left. And no, that will be deflected and possession back to the Nor'easters. So the Beacons do everything correct except get to that 20th goal. But smiles all around as the Beacons stare down a Nor'easter and beat the Nor'easters. Final score, the UMass Boston Beacons 19, the University of New England Nor'easters 7. With the win, the Beacons 4-0 on this young season. They've won all 4, and the University of New England Nor'easters fall to 3-4. We'll take a very quick break and be right back with the final numbers after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. So we have gone final here at Cotter Field, the 4th straight victory for the UMass Boston Beacons to open the season. They win 19-7 over the Nor'easters of the University of New England. 19 goals on 52 shots for the Beacons, 7 goals on 22 shots for the Nor'easters. The one part of the game that the Nor'easters outplayed the Beacons on ground balls, they scooped 38 ground balls to the Beacons 32, and they make 12 saves. compared to the Beacons' 7. They also dominated the faceoff circle, 17 wins for the Nor'easters to just 12 for the Beacons, but it didn't matter because that offensive execution was there all afternoon for the Beacons. 6 different goal scorers for the Nor'easters: Andrew Lawrence, Ben Gowell, Colin Watt, Kyle Kennedy, Ryan Hazard, and Alden Balboni. And then in order, these are the 19 goals scored by the Beacons: Greg Wolf, Chad Kidd, Derek Fahey, Michael Claflin, Gavin Admiran. Wolf again for his second. Patrick Carey, Jacob Banks, Charlie Chapman. Admiran scored his second. Fahey scored his second. In the third quarter, Fahey got the scoring started with a hat trick. Mick Flynn scored his first. Gavin Admiran scored his hat trick goal, and Flynn scored his second. And then in the fourth quarter, Greg Wolf finishing up his hat trick. Derek Fahey, number 4, Derek Fahey, number 5, and Jacob Banks finished the game with his second goal. So 3 different hat tricks from the Beacons, 5 goals from Derek Fahey, and the first 2 goals of the season for Jacob Banks. That'll do it for us here, high above Cotter Field. The Beacons 4-0 after a 19-7 win. My name is Chris Del Sordo. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday afternoon with us. Wherever you go tonight, get there safely, and go Beaks. Sweet. We survived the blizzard.